Hi, everybody. It's Craig and Arun back with your 10 college basketball games for Tuesday, the 13th of January. And we're covering all the ranked games for today. Now, we know there's a lot more college basketball games, but we got to cut it off somewhere. We can't just do 50 games every day. We got to pick out the games we like the best. And hey, you want to find out what games we like the best each day? You can get in on it for just $99. You can get the college basketball pass, get both of us $99. It's usually $99 each. Go over here, docsports.com/Craig Arun. We're going to have a top play in college basketball tonight, and I see Will as well. And then you get 6 more days of those plays. And we got it for the NBA and football as well, so you can buy all 3. It's $99 per sport, and you get us both. Okay, let's go. College basketball. We kick us off here. First ranked game, Indiana against at Michigan State. Michigan State's number 12 in the country, and they've been pretty good this year. I can't wait for Michigan State to square off. I think it's going to be a great game. Michigan State's favored by 7 here, total 142.5. What do you like in this one?
It's going to be a great game. Michigan State's number 12 in the land. Indiana, of course, is 12-4. Indiana beat them 71-67 last year, so they also beat them in both games last year, so bear that in mind. I think what you're going to have here is a situation, and the line sitting at 7 kind of makes sense. That's about right. Tom Izzo's team is top 5 in defense. They're top 70 in offense. And you have a team here that, it's still a pretty young team, right? They lost Nebraska on the road and Duke at home. But, man, are they good. They are very good. This team beat Iowa at home by 71-52. They're big. An Indiana team who beat Maryland on the road 84-66. They come off a loss to Nebraska 83-77 as well. This is one of those games that honestly could go either way. I could see it either way. But I will tell you this. Michigan State hasn't beat this team the last 2 times they played them. I think it's going to irritate Indiana that Nebraska rolled in and beat them, right, the last game. That's going to irritate them to no end. And I think what you're going to see is an opportunity. And the total is really interesting at 142.5. But that's what you would expect, right, in a Michigan State-Indiana game. I actually think Indiana is probably going to cover this game. I do. But I'm afraid to take it. I know Michigan State is phenomenal on defense. But I also think that Michigan State having the double revenge and the fact that Indiana needs to bounce back kind of makes sense for me to take the over between these 2 teams. Craig, Virginia heads on the road to face another top 25 team. Virginia's number 16 and Louisville is number 20. It's going to be a great ACC battle. That's at 7 o'clock. So what you get is a team that is 14-2 on the road against a 12-4 team. Virginia comes in as a plus 3.5 point underdog. Louisville swept them last year, beating 81-67 and 70-50. But last year is not this year, and Virginia comes in as just a small dog. What do you like here?
Well, Louisville has played 2 games in a row where they only played half of basketball. Against the first half against Duke, they were killing them, and then just didn't show up in the second half. And then last time out, they did the same thing, just from reverse. They didn't show up the first half, down big, came roaring back, and won by 13. So, yeah, but they didn't cover. That's the 3rd straight game they haven't covered, and they've lost 2 of the last 3 games. I think you take Virginia here. I just like the way this Virginia offense has been playing. They did lose in a rivalry game at Virginia Tech, but that's like throw the records out the window when you face your rivals. I like them here. I think Virginia has what it takes to go on the road and get the win here in the ACC. Another ACC clash here. We've got I'm sorry, not an ACC clash. Sorry. No, it is. Boston College at Clemson. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing, and I looked back, and it's still an ACC game. Clemson's number 22 in the country. They're 16.5 point favorite, total 134.5. BC, like I said, played really good against Louisville in the first half, fell apart the second half. What do you like?
Yeah, I mean, look, you're going to have Clemson sitting at number 22 in the land. Nothing bad about that. 7-9 and 14-3 team here. I will tell you this: the public's all over Boston College to a tune of 67%. Clemson beat them 78-69 last year, so Boston College has a little bit of revenge. But the question is, can the team that is 7-9 come in here and get inside the number? And why is this line so big? Those would be the 2 first questions you kind of asked yourself here. Boston College, of course, coached by Earl Grant, who's been there now 5 years. He had 20 wins 2 years ago, 12 wins last year, 7-9 this year. This team has lost 3 in a row to Georgia Tech, NC State, and Louisville. And that loss to Louisville was pretty tough for them to swallow, considering they were up 34-30 at the half. And then, of course, the wheels sort of fell off and Louisville kind of took over. Clemson comes in this game. They have Miami on deck, but they did beat Notre Dame on the road by 15. Clemson's playing really well. They beat SMU, they beat Pittsburgh, they beat Syracuse. I mean, they're on a 7-game win streak coming in. They're also 4-0 in conference play as well. This is a tough game. I will tell you this. I kind of like the under in this game. I think the reason why that makes sense is you get a Clemson team that I think is going to come out a little bit flat today after dominating Notre Dame on the road. And I don't think they're going to get up for this Boston College team, but I absolutely cannot take Boston College either. I also like the fact that Boston College, what they do well is they're outside the top 270 in offense. But guess what they do well, Craig? They play great defense. They're top 67 or top 70 in the nation in defense. That's pretty darn good. They're also top 40 in 2-point field goals given up and top 40 in 3-point field goals given up. So even though that total sits low at 143.5, at 134, a total of 134, we're not scared, and we're going to take the under 134 here between Boston College and Clemson.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on all the great content we have here at Doc Sports.
All right, Craig, moving on here. We're going to go to Texas A&M in a little SEC battle. Texas A&M on the road against Tennessee. Tennessee is ranked 24th in the country. Texas A&M, of course, is 13-3. Perfect 3-0 in the SEC, by the way. Tennessee is ranked 1-2 coming into this contest. I will tell you is Texas A&M is an 8.5-point dog coming into this game. Tennessee did sweep them both times, has beat them last 2 times they played them. The public is all over Texas A&M as a dog here, and why not? You have a 3-0 team in conference play, coached by Bucky McMillan. They beat LSU, Auburn, and Oklahoma. But is Tennessee a different beast, especially coming off of a loss to Florida by a score of 91-67? Who do you like?
I mean, I've been torn on Tennessee this year. I kind of thought early in the year, like this team might have, Coach Barnes might have something where he can make a run. Then I've watched them just get absolutely, like that's not a great Florida team. I know they played well the other game and beat them by 24, but that's not a great, and they lost to Arkansas. Arkansas is pretty good, but I mean, Illinois is good. They lost to Syracuse. They lost to a Kansas team that's not great. I think you take A&M. I think the public has it right. You take A&M plus the points. Now, we don't know. They have gotten the benefit of the schedule a little bit. It's like they haven't played a top-ranked team in the conference yet. This is their chance. I think they step up here. At worst, I think they cover this one. Next game, we go back to another ranked game. We've got UConn at Seton Hall. Both of these teams are ranked now. UConn's number 3 in the country now. Only loss is at home against Arizona. Of course, Arizona's number 1 team in the country. Seton Hall's number 25, 14-2 on the year. UConn favored by 5.5. Total 130.5. What do you like?
Yeah, I mean, look, man. I mean, it's striking how good UConn is, and of course, you have a coach that seems to be in a little bit of trouble these days. But 16-1, 14-2 teams hook it up here. UConn beat them 81-50 in an ugly game last year. But you do have the number 3 team in the land here facing the number 25 team in the land. Look, UConn for as good as they are. I have been impressed with how Seton Hall has played this year. You have a coach here in Shaheen Holloway who was really upset at last year. He had him at 7-25. He's already been in his 4th year after his great time at St. Peter's, and it's amazing how time flies. He had him at 17 wins, then 25, then 7. Now he's at 14-2. Huge wins over Creighton and Kansas State. They're 4-1 in conference play. They're top 10 in defense. They're about to go dancing. You got a pretty senior-laden team as well. Connecticut rolls into this contest, of course. They're 6-0 in conference play. Big win against DePaul. They barely beat Providence on the road, though. They were kind of shaky early this year against Kansas on the road. This is going to sound crazy, but obviously the total sits at 131 as well. The public's all over the under 2. And this is a hard game, man. But I'm going to go with I know it sounds crazy here, but I'm going to back Seton Hall here. I just think they remember. I mean, this is sort of a benchmark game for Shaheen, right? He remembers his team losing 81-50 last year in March 8th. And it was crazy because Seton Hall had beat him in a shocker, 69-68 in overtime. And then Connecticut wanted to beat the snot out of him, and they did. So West Virginia coming in as a 13-point dog to Houston here. West Virginia's 11-5. Houston is top 10. They're number 7 team in the land. Who do you like?
Yeah, I mean, West Virginia, they surprised me beating Kansas last time out. But they've done it of the last few years, actually, at West Virginia. But they're just not nearly as good away from home. And Houston is a different beast this year. The last few years, it's been about this defense. And, I mean, they're good on defense again. But it's finally – they got a lot of talent on offense. Lay the points here, Houston minus 13 in this next one. Now, just a few games left, 4 games left, I believe. Iowa State at Kansas, number 2 team in the country. Kansas is unranked. Iowa State's favored by 3.5, total 148.5. Boy, would it mean something, I think, for the Kansas Crazies to get a win against a highly ranked team. What do you like?
Yeah, I mean, this team needs this contest a little bit here. A couple points of note here. You have a Kansas team that obviously Iowa State is number 2 in the land. They're -4 favorite. And Kansas probably was looking ahead to this game, which is why they lost to West Virginia 75-86. Iowa State rolls in, of course, beating Oklahoma State 83-71, but they were looking ahead to this game too. They were 20.5-point chalk, and they didn't. Obviously, they did not cover. Kansas beat them 69-52 the last time they played, so Iowa State remembers that. But of course, you have the number 2 team in the land rolling in here, and they're only a 4-point favorite, which has to be a little scary. Iowa State is a perfect 16-0. This is probably one of the smallest, chalks they've faced. They faced Baylor this year, and they won 70-60, and that was a true test for this team. Prior to this, they beat Purdue 81-58. They haven't been challenged since then. But I will tell you this: Kansas, to their credit, even though they lost to West Virginia, they did beat Tennessee earlier this year, 81-76. They beat TCU. But some things that Kansas does not do well, they don't offensive rebound well. They're outside the top 240. They've lost 5 games at the end of this year, and many of those losses, 3 of those losses were against teams outside the top 30: North Carolina, UCF, and West Virginia. That's a little inexcusable. And the other 2 losses were against Duke and Connecticut. I guess that's a little bit understandable. The problem is, I know the public's going to be all over Iowa State here, but I'm going to, and the total sits at around 148. So I'm going to bite here. I do think Iowa State's going to do pretty well, but if Kansas wins ball games, it has to be through their defense. It's certainly not through their offense. So I also like the under in this game too. If I had to pick something, I would back the under in this contest. All right, Craig, moving on here. Oregon and Nebraska. Oregon is not ranked. They're 8-8, 1-4 in the Big Ten. Nebraska is a perfect 16-0 and 5-0 in the Big Ten. You have an Oregon team that comes in as a 10.5-point dog here. The last time they met head-to-head, Nebraska beat them 77-71. Of course, Nebraska is better this year than they were last year. When it comes to this contest, do you think that Oregon can somehow find a way to cover this contest, coming off back-to-back losses to Rutgers and to Nebraska and to Ohio State? But to their credit,
I think it's a huge letdown spot. Huge. I mean, look who all they've played, Nebraska. They've kind of played the Big Ten royalty so far. And they continue to, Indiana, Michigan State, they continue to get it done. Ohio State, they continue to get it done. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, Oregon lost to Rutgers, lost at home to Ohio State. And they come rolling in here and you just think you can roll the ball out and still win. Let's take Oregon plus the points. I think it's Dan Altman is one of my favorite coaches of all time. I think he always has teams ready. I think they were embarrassed against Ohio State at home. I think they bounce back here. They might not win, but I do think they cover in this one. Now, 2 games left. Alabama, Mississippi State. Alabama's ranked 18th in the country. Alabama's favored by 5.5, total 172.5. What do you like?
Alabama's dropped a couple of points here. They lost to Purdue, Gonzaga, and Arizona. All that was excusable. And then they lost to Vanderbilt by 6, and then they had a huge letdown against Texas, losing 90-88. This is a must-get-right game for my Crimson Tide, and I think they get it right here. I know they have not lost. They're 1-2 in conference play. If they lose this game, they'll go to 1-3, and that's a big no-no, and they'll drop out of the top 25. Mississippi State comes off getting rocked by Kentucky, 92-68 on the road. They've lost to San Francisco, New Mexico. I think what happens is Alabama comes to this game furious, and I'm going to back the Crimson Tide minus the 6.5. Finally, Craig, Florida and Oklahoma hook up here. Keep in mind that Florida comes into this contest as a team that obviously is the defending national champion. But there's 11-5 this year. Big wins against Tennessee at home and Georgia. They've routed 2 teams at home after the Missouri loss, which upset them. They are top 10 in defense. Oklahoma comes into this contest with back-to-back games to Mississippi State and Texas A&M. What do you think here? You think that you're going to see an opportunity where Mississippi State or Oklahoma can somehow hang tough and shock Florida after 2 big wins?
Absolutely. I think Oklahoma's going to win outright in this one. I think Florida's a different team at home. We've seen it. Oklahoma, different team at home. So Florida's on the road, big letdown spot. Oklahoma would love to beat the national champs. Everybody that following year wants to beat the champs. Take Oklahoma plus the points, but I don't think we're going to need them. Let's take them in an upset today. Don't forget, if you want to get in on all of our top plays, college basketball, we're both going to have top plays today. Get in on docsports.com/Craig Arun. We're also going to have plays in the NBA as well. So you can buy them, $99 per sport. So for $198, you get both NBA and college hoops for today from both of us. And it's usually $99 each. So that's 50% off. Good luck. See you again tomorrow.